Hey everybody. So I just pushed a quick update for pyRevit 4.6.11 on the pyRevit. I'm not going to do a big blog post on this or a long video. This is going to be a short video just to let you know about the only change in that revision. Obviously, if you haven't seen the 4.6.10, I resolved a bunch of issues with the Keynote Manager on that version, so it's not. Hopefully it should be a little more stable. With the 4.6.11, the only feature that's been added is a pyRevit update to support the CLI run feature. And in this video, I want to quickly show you what the CLI run feature is. So if you go to the CLI help page, let me actually close this. Obviously, I'm assuming that you download and install 4.6.11 right now. So if you go and check the pyRevit CLI version, it should be version 3. And if you say help, then it'll take you to the help page. And you can, in the table of contents, find the CLI execution of Python scripts. And it basically, this page explains this parent, Python execution works. It's as simple as saying pyRevit run that script. Now, you'll read the help. I'm just going to quickly show you how this feature works. Obviously, it's in beta version. You might have bugs and whatnot, so use it. Just make sure to use it correctly. And it don't apply to your actual projects and whatnot, just test it for now. So I've written a quick, Python script that basically just writes something to the file, to a text file. Actually, let's name it models. Let's create another one here too. Let me open this in my comfortable environment. Okay. Syspath, that would be file that's here. Okay, so I'm writing a script that's writing two things to do two different files. One file is going to have the syspaths, which is the just to show you that when this script is run, what kind of paths are available in the syspath. The other one is a list of models that I explained in a few seconds, and then I'm importing the UI app from pyRevit and going over models and opening and make a change and save them here. So this script is basically write something to the drive and opens two models that, or a model that's been passed to it, and run something over it. Maybe that's collecting data, maybe that's changing something in the model and whatnot. So the way to run it is that you say pyRevit run, and then you provide the path of that script to it. So in this case, I'm going to just say copy path and place the path here. Now, if I hit run right now, the pyRevit will use the latest version of Revit that's on your machine to run it. You can also specify the Revit version that you want to run it on, and say, like, give it the major version, which is the year of that Revit. So in this case, if I hit run, it'll open it with 2018. I'm just going to do it now, and you can see it launches the 2018, and it actually uses the clone that's attached to the pyRevit clone that's attached to this 2018 version to run it. You just have to make sure that obviously you have the newest pyRevit clone, because the newest pyRevit clone supports this run feature, and it basically runs it with that clone, with that engine that's attached to it, and it gives you a report after that. So the execution environment, it gives this execution a unique ID. It tells you what product, which is the 2018 3.1 that I have, the clone that's been used, that's the clone that's attached to it. That's the engine 277 version that's attached to that Revit version. And then the script, a working directory. It creates a working directory, a temporary working directory inside your temp folder. Inside your temp folder, and it creates a sort of like journal file to launch it or to bootstrap Revit, and then it tells it to run that Python script. And it has the runner add-in, stuff like that at the end of it. So it gives you some information about the log file that's there and whatnot. If you don't want these, the temporary folders to remain on your machine, just to add the purge option, and it would delete those stuff after that. So in this case, I'm going to show you how you would launch Revit 2019. See, that's the latest version of Revit that I have on my machine. It would run it, and run that Python script. Now, inside that Python script, you can do anything. You can open your own models. You can make changes to the model that you have opened. You can collect data, write it to somewhere else, to a web service or whatever. And it runs the ARM Python in a full frame engine, so you will have access to the um, like the web, you know, more important modules and stuff like that. All the modules, the pyRevit module and everything else that you can use inside the pyRevit are attached to it. Anything else that you want to be able to import, you kind of have to import the paths manually inside your syspath in your script. So then you can import those modules. And you can see that execution is completed, and it tells you that the directory is purged. So that directory is deleted after that. It's good if you want to run this over many models. You can also provide a model path to this command. So I'm going to just say run that, and I'm going to give it like the 19 path here. So if you provide a model path to it, this pyRevit run doesn't open the model. It just basically passes that model, the path to your script inside the when it's being run. So it creates this global variable called models. That's a list of all the models that's been passed to your script. That is basically the list of models that are provided here. Now, the list of model could be a single model or could be a file, a text file that has a bunch of models listed in it. So it passes those, and I explained in that help why this pyRevit run command doesn't actually attempt to open it, because the opening the model are complex. You need to figure out if you want to open central, if you want to open it as a read only, if you want to open it detached, how many of the worksets of the model that you want to open, and in order to be able to do that, you have to through the script you have to kind of like inspect the worksets first and see what kind of worksets are available. Blah blah blah. A lot of your scripts might read information from the file name, like determine I don't know, whatever that they have to be done on the file name. And also the scripts know the resource needs of your scripts will actually know the resource needs of these models. They know how large these models could be and stuff like that. So that's all on the user side, on to manage how to open these models and how to basically read information and stuff like that. So the pyRevit run doesn't attempt to open that model. The only thing that it does is that it takes a look at the Revit version that was used to generate that model. And this could be like a family file, this could be a template file, it could be any Revit file basically. So what it does is basically takes a look at that and decides which version of Revit it should run it with. Like if I use the 18 version, it's going to launch the 18. You can still go in and manually specify the version of Revit that you're running with. You just have to make sure that you kind of have to know the versions of your Revit models, because if it's newer than the Revit that you're using, it's going to fail. The command, nothing happens to the command because it's pathing the path to your script. But if your script is attempting to open that model without checking its version on a version that's on a Revit that's older, then obviously your script is going to break. Whenever an error like this happens, a log file is written into that temp directory. The log file path is listed here. And when the execution is done, if the log file has any content, it actually prints that execution log for you. Like on my machine, I'm running this error that whenever I'm making changes to the document and want to save them, there's an internal error that is being occurred that's thrown by the Revit API. So I kind of have to go and take a look at this and whatnot. So you can see that the log is being printed, the execution log being printed here. Anything else that you want to log through your script, you are free to do however you want to. You can create text files, you can do whatever you want. Like these two text files that we create through the scripts, one lists the models that are passed to it, and the other one lists the system paths that are passed to it, that you can see the pyRevit lib, side packages, and the directory of that script are all passed to that script as the system paths. So any module inside those areas will be important. So basically that's it. And I can also run this just to show you quickly. I can run this over a list of files that I've prepared. And I can say, whenever you provide a list of files, if you run it, it asks your Revit version must be explicitly specified, because it doesn't want to go through, I don't know, a list of 200 models and figure out which version of Revit it needs to use. So you have to manually specify that. It checks the list of the files and it tells you if there's a file inside it that is not a valid file name, or if the file doesn't exist, then it clears that list off of these missing or incompatible files. So it only grabs the files that actually exist and are basically Revit models. So you can do that, and then it'll open fire up Revit, launch that, opens the files, runs the execution, whatever that's need to do, and it would return the return result. Now again, I have that error going on, so you can see the log being printed. You can see that it printed. And if you have multiple models like this inside a text file, it actually adds a target models list in here that gives you the list of models that have been finally grabbed from that list. Now you don't really have to. If you help do pyRevit help, let's go open that page. You don't really have to use this models feature. The goal of this tool is to sort of like give you a simple way of running a script using one of your Revit versions from the command line. So this way you can have a standard script that collects some data or makes some standard changes or updates your existing model from a template or something like that, and you can just run it like that on your model. The extra, the model list feature is just a way of passing a sort of like a configurable list of models to your script. So your script doesn't have to be smart about where the models are and whatnot. But that's not a feature that you have to use. You can write your script however you want to read file information to maybe, I don't know, look up your data drives for the models, go over those automatically, whatever that's required. And you get to choose how many, like you can have, I don't know, multiple instances of Revit doing the same thing over and over. So that's completely up to you. How you use that script is completely up to you. This feature is only here to give you a very simple way of running a Python script over your Revit model, over the Revit instance that you have. So let me know what you think about it. There are much more complex tools like the complex and more advanced. Like if I want to say Revit model services, if I have it correctly here. That's not mine. Oh, GitHub. So this is Frederick's project, Revit Model Services. It's a pretty advanced, sort of like a batch processor that runs Python scripts and whatnot. It has its own execution environment and whatnot. So that's a lot more complex than this. And you can, like, it has notification support. Whenever it goes over model, it can, send you the execution report back. It can notify you in Slack channel or whatever that this is what you need to do, or that the execution on that model is completed. Blah blah blah. This pyRevit run doesn't have any of those features. This is just a very simple way of running a Python script over a Revit version or a series of models. So the main goal of this is to be a sort of like a very simple utility that you can use inside your own PowerShell script or Python scripts to sort of like however that you want to run a script over many models and collect some data. And if there's notifications or error logs and stuff like that, they all have to be managed inside your own scripts in your own custom way, because this is something that is extremely hard to basically design that everybody can use, because every environment, every company has a different setting and different configuration. So I'll let you figure out that part. Just giving you this single component that can run a Python script over your models. So yeah, so let me know if it works and how you're going to use it. If you have any ideas on improvements, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else has been added to pyRevit to 4.6.11. It's just that I quickly added in the past couple of days, and I needed that at work too. So let me know what you think about it, and that's it. Thank you.